Hello, my name is Claudia Redder, and I'm reading a few poems from my book, Dizzying Words. I'm starting with the first poem in the book because it sets the trajectory for the rest of the pages. The title, Self-Portrait from the Future. Reach for my hand, I tell her. I will take care of you. She doesn't respond. She doesn't yet know how long she will be ill, how a few days will turn into years, how a new normal will eventually develop. It's okay, I want her to know, we will manage. But she is still reliving that night, her 8-year-old padding out of the bedroom asking, "Mommy, are you all right?" Her family follows the ambulance to the hospital where she is seen ahead of a knife stabbing because vertigo is the worst. Her daughter has Doritos for breakfast, goes to school with orange hands. But on that eve that bisected our lives, I wondered if I was dying, and if so, how to make peace. When I found myself among a salty froth of seals. The paramedics interrupted my reverie. The seals receded. Then one seal leveled his gaze, his wrinkly nose nudging me to focus, that seal eye on which my eyes locked. My breathing synchronized with his. The water murmurs sliding up and back. A stillness sang inside of me, an intimate immensity. I knew that art served a purpose. I would create new songs. The old ones would not do. The next poem I'm reading is called The Air Between Us, Story Making with E. It turned out that although I couldn't work, I could at least help people tell their stories, and I went to assisted living, retirement homes, and other places, and I found such satisfaction in helping others do this. Story Making with E. I ask her, "What's your favorite color?" "Orchid," she says. "What color is orchid?" "Purple, a light shade of purple." She sits in one armchair. I face her in the other one, hunched over my laptop in the tiny room. At 95, her mind is clear and practical as a Granny Smith apple on her bedside table. I type what she says until she pauses, lifts a finger. "Stop. Delete that. We didn't say that in those days." At first, it feels awkward. A week later, our silence is full of reminiscences. The orange lampshade emits a buttery glow. We are caught off guard by the maple leaves, yellowed and falling earlier than expected. I am honored to be her story hearer. She will soon leave this world, and her children and even great-grandchildren will have her stories that she willingly told to someone she barely knew. I, an urban New Yorker, she, a California farmer's wife, who had no plumbing, an orchard that finally gave fruit. She survived beyond the falling apart car to this bed in assisted living. In the Great Flood, she remembers she lost her only doll. She who loved to say, "We didn't have a pot to piss in," and "I lived from wagon wheel to jet plane," sat in her armchair, a regal queen. The last poem I'll read, I really enjoyed because it came out of conversations my daughter and I had over the years. We even wrote an essay together to help us process what it was like to live with a vertigo mom. The title is Growing Up with a Vertigo Mom. "Why do you like ugly shoes?" my daughter inquires. "My rubber-soled Mary Janes are ships for my feet, suction cups that keep me upright. If I tilt, I bounce back with a silly smile planted on my face." My fashionista daughter favors stilettos. I buy her strappy heels. My daughter says I've fallen into a bucket of crazy. I say vertigo is like dancing without a floor. I'm longing to be in my body and know its boundaries, but the flag of normalcy moves farther away. My daughter says I'm rude and even pushy when I'm just trying to remain upright. I say I'm glad we moved out of that small town, so when I go to the grocery store, no one knows who I am. My daughter says, "You write about dead stuff, trees and people." I say, "It's the headiness of living. Let life sit in the crook of your arm, and she will steal the sprig of mint in your iced tea." Meanwhile, my daughter dances her way into her 20s. Her plumage sets her sailing. She disappears, then reappears when I least expect it. Out to lunch at a hip cafe, I cover the black and white dotted linoleum with napkins. She rolls her eyes, says, "How many ways can you embarrass me?" I answer, "You can hash it out in therapy." Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the book, Dizzying Words.